Well, hello friends. I am so glad you're here. I'm going to start out this video with a little bit of a chat while I do my makeup and get ready, because I feel like we have so much going on in life right now, and with how things have been going recently, I just went ahead and pre-recorded 3 or 4 videos so that I would not get behind on my weekly posting schedule, and I'm very grateful for that. However, it makes me feel like I am so far away from you guys. It makes me feel like real life is so disconnected from what I'm actually posting, and I just feel very out of touch with y'all. So I wanted to go ahead and do like a quick little chat here while I get ready for the day. My memory card's telling me that I have like no storage left, so here we go. It is Valentine's week almost. It's like Saturday today, and Valentine's is this upcoming Friday. I am really excited for it. Before having children, I thought, yeah, Valentine's is like a man-made holiday, cool, whatever. Like, me and Nicholas kind of always did stuff for it, but it wasn't anything that we got super into. Okay, well, kids changed that, especially maybe just having little girls. I don't know. I might have went crazier with a little boy, because that would be like my new Valentine. I mean, love you, honey, but you know. But I have really fallen in love with the Valentine's holiday since having children. I try not to go crazy overboard because we did just have Christmas, but at the same time, especially at the age my girls are, which is 2 and 4, they are like super into the hearts, and you know, like cheap little things excite them, which I talked about at Christmas. We can't get them everything that might give them a thrill, because 1, that's not good for their little brains, and 2, it's setting a precedent that I don't want to have to keep as their interests become more expensive, and you know, just over time it's just not realistic to be doing that. So I have some things for them, and I think I'm going to do a combined basket, but I'm going to take you along with me as we put that together this weekend. And then I'm also hoping to find some hot pink pants today. I will settle, I guess, maybe for some blush pants, but I have a Valentine's event at school this week, and so I found a black like dressier shirt that ties in the front, and it's got white hearts on it. And then I thought, how fun would it be if I had some hot pink pants to go with it? So I'm starting to incorporate more color into my wardrobe, kind of. I have always been like earth tones, very much opposed to bright colors. But something about lately, like as I've been looking at Easter dresses and things, I am just ready for pops of color. Like, I am tired of all the dreariness. I think part of it is just the time of year. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to do all this in my camera monitor, and it is quite a bit different than actual real life. I am just really getting into color lately. So I have actually, let me just update you on life really fast. Goodness, this is why I can't multitask. I'm way too like ADHD for this. So Nicholas went back into law enforcement. I think I mentioned that previously at some point. Whenever you go into law enforcement, like at any agency, any department, they have you kind of rotate around with training officers, and you're kind of just thrown on a day shift, a night shift, you know, all the things. You're kind of passed around to be with multiple different officers until you complete your training hours. And then once you finish, you go usually to another different shift. So like, your sleep schedule's all over the place. Your life is kind of like all rocked around for a bit. And then you just kind of hope that whatever you settle on, whatever shift they end up letting you land on, is somewhat ideal. Also, oftentimes with law enforcement, they will tell you that you're going to be on one shift, and then like a week goes by and they change their minds, or needs change, and so then you get put somewhere else. And that's just kind of how it is. I think with most government work, that's kind of how it works. Military, honestly, anything. But anyways, he has just finished his training hours, which was like 400 hours this past week. And so he has done like a couple weeks of day shift rounds, and then now he's completed the night shift. And for now, at least for the next month, we are told, he will be going to a 12 to 12 shift. It's like an overlap shift to help with, as they are changing shifts, like they'll still have officers out on the road handling things. So 12 noon to 12 a.m. is going to be his schedule, which for him is very ideal because he is a night owl and he likes to sleep in. And so that's totally like up his alley. And especially like prior to having kids, or prior to him being married, that would have been probably his dream. But now, now things have changed. It's still better than night shift, I will tell you. Like, I fully supported him going back into law enforcement, and I still do. However, I underestimated the struggle of night shift with 2 toddlers and also working a job. I have been like just so helter-skelter. We've been run all over the place, and though he says that he sleeps almost better during the day than at night, which honestly has proven to kind of be true. I just can't understand that, and I can't allow my brain to accept that, really. So I try my best to keep me and the girls out of our house during the day while he's asleep when he's on night shift. So he will come home at like 6:15, and then we're getting up, getting ready to go to school. And as he helps us out the door, we load up and leave, and then he goes and gets in the bed and goes to sleep, and then usually sleeps until about 4 o'clock. So even though our preschool is only a half day, I try my best for us to stay there longer. Like, I just clock out from work and I try really, really hard to keep us there until 2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then we will come home and have like an hour-ish of quiet time, or we'll go to my grandmother's house. Now, I will say that was really, really wearing on me. My girls just don't settle at school. They have little leapfrog tablets. And even though I take those and I have the TV going in my classroom, and I turn out the lights and try to encourage just like a quiet rest time at school, it just doesn't work. There's way too much fun to be had there. Annabelle, our youngest, she had fifth disease and an ear infection the first week that Nick was on night shift. The week before that, he was on days, but Rosemary, our 4-year-old, had a stomach bug. And it's just that time of year, you know, it's flu season, it's everything going around. And then my body has just been trying to fight something. I don't really know what, but it's just been like an ongoing, really bad cold. I think probably sinus infection. But the other day at school, I had a terrible headache when we were like staying after. All the kids had already left. And I'm using lipstick, by the way, for my blush because I'm out of blush. But we had stayed after and I didn't have any medication, like pain reliever, and I had such a sinus headache. So I went and we have a medicine cabinet for the teachers, and I took like an allergy relief pill. Totally thought that it was just, I didn't look at the bottle, mistake. I totally thought that it was just like a non-drowsy Zyrtec equivalent, just like a generic brand. It was like comparable to Benadryl, and I did not realize that, but all of that afternoon and evening, I felt like death, and I was just like, my body cannot handle night shift. Like, physically, I'm just so overwhelmed. I mean, I always am with the girls, just me and them, you know, like that's our life usually, but it makes such a difference to have Nicholas home, I guess, for like the bedtime routine. And not even that we have that much of a routine, but I am such a morning person that by the time it gets to evening, I'm like just struggling to survive. So all that to say, I will not be taking Benadryl anymore, especially when I'm on my own with the girls all day and all night. But I've really not been cooking dinners. I've not been home to like keep my home. There's just a lot around here that needs to be done. I need to make some grocery lists, figure out what to cook. I don't know what to cook because he's like waking up for breakfast whenever we're eating dinner, or at least he has been. Now it'll be a little bit different. He won't be home at all. So you guys, it's just like I said, it's kind of just been crazy around here, but I think that the 12 to 12 will definitely be better, mostly because he is not going to be sleeping all day long on his off days. That's the hardest part, is that law enforcement can be kind of nice because you get days off during the middle of the week when the rest of the world is working, and it allows you to get stuff done or to just have rest time without feeling like, oh, we're missing that birthday party that we were invited to, or like, oh, we have other family off work as well and we should be hanging out with them, you know, different things that we would like to do, but it's also nice to just be able to rest and get your own stuff done sometimes. So law enforcement can be really nice in that way if you are on a good shift. Night shift does not really allow for that unless you are willing to forego a lot of your sleep. Like, he was just wired for this job. I know that he was in so many different ways, but the sleep portion, especially because he does not prefer to obviously go without sleep a lot of the time, but he is so he's much more capable of it than I would be. I am not a friendly person. I feel physically ill when I don't get a good amount of sleep, so that's just not me. Because of life lately, we have a lot undone around our home. I've been trying to incorporate some like storage systems as well. I am going to be sharing that in the next week or so. Here I implemented a closet hack in Rosemary's closet, which at some point I would love to be both of the girls' closet. If you've been here, then you know I'm trying so hard to get my girls to share a bedroom, and I've been trying for years now, but we just aren't there yet. So I also shared in my New Year's resolution video that I really want to invest into our home this year. And right now what that looks like is with storage systems. So I am really looking forward to what's to come. I have a whole bunch of ideas. The issue here is that I don't have time or energy to do them all right now. So I'm just trying to do what I can when I can. I'm trying to also be like wise with our budget. Trying really hard to stay in a good place every single month this year. I have spreadsheets that I've been color coding and keeping track of as best I can all throughout each month. January went really well. We were able to save a good bit. Honestly, I have no clue where I was at in my rambling. But anyways, speaking of rambling, yesterday I was at the thrift store and I had saved all of the kind of green and blue tops that I have for winter. For like true winter, kind of just as like a cooler color scheme, but I just feel like they're not like popping enough, you know, that I feel like they work fine, but for me I was just like, man, this is kind of just blah, like everything feels dreary, including my clothes right now, and I just haven't had a lot of excitement in getting ready. So I went to the thrift store and I found a couple of pieces that I really liked, and they were both black, which, like I said, I've kind of started incorporating more color into my wardrobe. However, I think for a true winter, I'm going to go with more black and neutrals, like very clean, very classy, very sophisticated. The trick there is finding things that are comfy within that. But I did find some really cute heels for like $6.99, and they looked brand new, and I'm excited about them because they are not like stilettos. They're not crazy tall heels, but they are, and this is what I was telling the cashier that reminded me of my rambling. I have not worn heels since I was like halfway through my pregnancy with my oldest daughter, because I just decided that it was too much and I didn't want to risk like falling, and so I just took them off then, and I haven't worn them since. So maybe these will be a good way to like ease back into wearing heels. It'll be a safe transition. Okay, well, I guess she was only half listening, or I said it in a very confusing way, and I saw her look at my stomach, and I had on like a very loose like Pico top. She just was like, oh yeah, and she's kind of an older lady, but then a couple minutes later she was like, so how far along are you? I was like, oh, not anymore. I'm not now. I could just tell like instant panic took over her face. I was like, no, it's really fine. I was rambling. And so then she was just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean. And there was a lady behind me in line, and she was just like, no, I know my oldest is 42 or whatever, you know. And so she kind of distracted from the situation. I'm gonna have to use this mirror because I gotta get up close and personal for this. But it all washed out fine. But I was just thinking, like, exactly, my clothes are so frumpy right now. And she couldn't tell, like, am I not, whatever. And I know that that was just like a random like coincidence probably, but still I want clothes that I just feel like, this is not working. I want some clothes that I just feel like really put together in, and though I do have some things physically that I would love to work on, I'm being really honest with you guys right now. I would just really like to have, you know, some things that don't make me feel so frumpy and moo-moo like. So that's kind of what I'm going for with the old money style. And I'm hoping that it works out well. So far, I think it will. I'm excited about it, especially because I do have like a Valentine's capsule, which is very small, but over the last couple of years, I've gotten a couple of things for Valentine's. Like I said, this has become one of my favorite holidays. I really, really like Christmas, obviously. I really like 4th of July. Get really into that one, but our town doesn't, which is, it's a struggle. We have to go like 45 minutes away to even find a July 4th parade, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, all the holidays are just more fun with kids, honestly. Like, they get more excited about them. It's just easy to get excited with them. It's a lot of fun. Nick and I have actually said that we're not gonna do anything for one another. I kind of told him that I didn't care to get anything for Valentine's. However, then I backtracked and was like, oh, but those digital photo frames are really, really nice. So I was like, you know, for Valentine's or for my birthday in April or for Mother's Day, like one of those would be really good. A really good gift option. So who knows? Like I said, I've been keeping up with our budget, and I saw that he had purchased something from Amazon the other day. So I'm just really not sure. I kind of feel like maybe I should get him something, but it's also just kind of hard to buy for a man. Or at least for this man. My dad was always, he loved shopping, and though he was very honest about things when he did not care for them, if you kind of got like a hint of what he wanted, he was really, really easy to buy for, and he was like super pleased by it. At my dad's funeral, one of the preachers that spoke, he was like, Tommy just liked shiny things. He always liked the next shiny thing, and that's exactly who he was. So it was kind of easy to buy for him in that way. My husband is not that way. He is your typical man, I think, when it comes to gifts and stuff in general. And he's also the saver in our household. So he is not excited by spending money or having money spent on him. I don't know. Maybe I'll come across something when I'm out looking for my pink pants today. And I was hoping to find the girls a little matching bathrobe, because we have one right now and they both love it. And they're just really into like getting their fingernails painted and being little spa girls, and I am loving that. But I was hoping to find them a bathrobe, and I just don't know that that's gonna happen. So I am gonna take you along with me if I ever get this makeup done, to put their basket together eventually. And then I need to figure out something for little teacher gifts. I don't know. There's a lot, guys. I don't know how Valentine's is here already. I've not put out like any Valentine's decorations around my house, although I do, like I said, I really love this holiday, but life has just been crazy train. Usually I would like make some decorations, but maybe I'll stumble upon some while I'm out and about looking for my pants. Also, I feel like I should update you guys on just some not at all important things, but that stuff that I've been enjoying or failing to enjoy. So we went to the library a few weeks ago because we love the library. Ooh, this is always the hardest one. Ah, that ain't it. Pause. But we went to the library recently, and we basically like checked out everything they had. I mean, the girls love to get movies at the library. Yeah, we're that family. But then we also found a couple of books. I had a student in my classroom ask the day before we went to the library, what do bumblebees eat? And so then the following day we had a day all about bumblebees, and we had a lot of different fun activities, and it was just a really fun time. So I have some bumblebee books. Yeah.
Day was superhero. Now a superhero holiday. Now day key. They're getting lost of the day.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. They were destroying the world. Let me see. I'm coming. So anyways, Bumblebee, oh. Let me do this. Bumblebee Day was such a blast. Definitely a hit. I love theme days. We've done a couple of other theme days since then. We did Hibernation Day, like as a whole school we did that. We kind of combined it with Groundhog Day because that was coming up. And then we did like a winter theme in my class as well. Just really fun. Like I love love theme days, love them. Whenever we get to the point of most likely homeschooling, I think I've thought in the past I would love to do themes for our different units and such, but it'll kind of depend on our curriculum too, because we're probably just going to stick with what we used at our preschool up to this point, which is Abeka. For a long time I thought that's a really hard curriculum for a 3 or 4 year old, but I guess because my girls have done it since they were 2, they absolutely love it, especially the oldest. And so the youngest, we're still kind of waiting to see how she learns and how she likes to learn. But for right now, our oldest is she like craves that challenge, and when we have to miss school because one of the kids is sick or something, she's like, Mommy, can we go get my worksheets? And I hope that she always has that love of learning, which is one of the reasons that I really want to homeschool and try to keep that in her as long as possible. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. So I also was off of TikTok for a bit, since like August, basically since they started really talking about shutting it down. I got off of TikTok, and then, hold up.
Okay, so I had one more distraction, and when I came back, I hit something on my camera, which made the entire filming of me doing my hair like slow motion and just not acceptable. So that's probably for the best, because it would have taken way longer to get on with the rest of this video if it had worked. So all that I was telling you was that I'm back on TikTok, and I have found my new best friend. Her name is Emily Ann Roberts. She has no clue that we're best friends. A lot of people might know her. She was on The Voice several years ago, and she just writes like country music that sounds very 90s like. She's also hilarious and lives a very modest lifestyle. They have a YouTube channel, which I believe maybe her husband runs, and it's called Sasser House. So definitely go check them out. But if you want to find her on TikTok, she's really, really funny, and I have very much enjoyed her music and her personality. So after Nicholas got up and I finished getting ready, I finally got around to picking up my house a little bit, putting this place back together. Oh my goodness, you guys, it felt so good. And then the like final push that I needed was, I forgot that the Super Bowl was actually the following day. We ended up having a super impromptu Super Bowl party. We invited some people over from church, and it was a really fun time, but it got me to really put my house like all the finishing touches on it that it needed, except the bedroom, because of course we always just close the bedroom door. That's what we do. It's a catch-all. It's a storage place. Ugh, I hate it. And that's one of the next places that I hope to work on, should I ever get to that point. Another thing that I failed to mention earlier is that I did tell my boss at the preschool that next year I wanted to simply serve as a substitute teacher. If it's anything like the last 2 years have been, then I will still have the option to work plenty, but at least that way it will give me the flexibility to stay home and take care of my house without trying to keep children quiet while Nicholas is asleep, or if he is on just an absolute crazy schedule and I am by myself most of the time, days and nights, then it'll give me a time to take a little breather. Our oldest is going to be in kindergarten, so I'm still praying through exactly what that looks like. While our half-day preschool does offer kindergarten, it is half day, and we will be paying out of pocket for both children if I'm not working there. Right now, we are very, very blessed, and they are able to go free. But with me not working there full time, that will look a little bit different. So I have a lot of things that I'm working on here on YouTube, as well as some other creative projects, as well as things around my home that I'm trying to implement. And then I'm also just really trying to balance and pray through like how to be the best possible mother for the precious children that God has blessed me with, as well as serving my husband and my community and keeping my sanity. So I think that we all run into those struggles and try to figure that out constantly. Like, it's never something that we just figure out and then it stays that way forever. It's always something that we're constantly having to fine-tune and pray about and just ask God for wisdom and discernment in. So that's definitely where I'm at right now. I'm excited that we're at this point and very much looking forward to what is to come. You're so goofy. See wands. Those are fun, aren't they? What color do you want, Rosie? Pink, please. Yeah. So today has been really fun. We had thought about going like further off for our family outing, but I'm really glad that we didn't. We went to a jump park not far from our house, and then we ended up going to the mall. We don't have a very big mall in the town near us, but it's something. And I found my pink pants. Rosie went in with me. Annie and Nicholas stayed in the car because Annie had fallen asleep. And so me and Rosie walked over to Claire's, and that was our first time going there. That was super fun. And then we went to the Great American Cookie Company and picked out some Valentine's cookies for us, and it was just a really sweet time. So we came home and we've been having some quiet time since then. Everybody's pretty tired, but this was a really fun way to spend a family day, and I think in a little while we're gonna go on a walk down our road, so that should be fun too. The weather's much warmer than what I anticipated it being today, so I changed into a t-shirt and shorts. With Nicholas being on night shift lately, I've really had a hard time getting into my routine of doing a morning quiet time like I prefer. So I had gotten really good, and I knew that this would happen when he was on day shift because he had to be at work at 6 a.m. So I would just get up when he got up at like 5 o'clock or whatever, and I had plenty of time to do my study and spend time in the Word and really get a lot out of it when my brain was at its absolute sharpest. However, now that's not the case because I am staying up later, trying to get things done around the house or whatever. Then in the mornings, whenever I do get up and I'm working on it, like he's getting home pretty soon after I'm starting my quiet time, so then I want to kind of catch up with him, and just having a hard time figuring out where to put it, so that it's like my brain is most functional and my heart is most prepared and there's the minimal amount of interruptions. So it's just kind of been a challenge to figure that out, but I am really loving how I've been doing it this year. I am not following any kind of plan or anything. I'm just going one chapter of the Bible at a time. At first I got really gung-ho and I started out doing a couple at a time. I actually started this on a weekend where the girls were staying at my mom's house, so I had a lot of time, a lot of mental capacity, and it was really sweet. But now I'm just doing one chapter a day, hopefully. So I'm just trying to take really detailed notes, and I don't know that you would call it writing a book, but I'm putting it in Canva and making it kind of pretty and just trying to break it down in ways that my brain understands, or like whenever I have questions, I will look them up and research them and then put that in there as well as like a side note. There's a lot of maps and like family trees and timelines. There's just a lot in Genesis, you know, and I found that every time that I would start to read the Bible as a whole, I would get so lost because one, the stories were super familiar to me, and I would just end up skimming through a lot of it and not seeing the parts that maybe I wasn't so familiar with. Or two, it's just so different than times are today that it was so far over my head that I think it was a little bit of both, you know, like when I was like, oh yeah, creation and the flood and Abraham and Isaac and all of these things that I had heard all of my life since I was a child, and just being like too familiar with them and not giving them enough of a chance to be fresh to my mind and to my heart. And then that coupled with like the people live to be like 900 plus years old, and like not really understanding where geographically these things were taking place or what the covenants were that they were doing, why they were doing them, all these different things. I just never really slowed down enough to write it all out and to look up whenever I have the questions, and to just truly pray over these things and try to digest them more fully. And so this has been such a blessing for me. I so enjoy it. It does require much more focus though, so as much as I'm enjoying it, I also have to be very, very intentional about it. So this was a really sweet afternoon, a way to spend quiet time, and yeah, I am just really loving this day. I think we're just gonna keep on taking it easy. I put a venison roast in the crock pot before we left this morning, and it's still pretty tough. I know that venison can take a while to thaw, but I'm really, really hoping that it speeds it up, because it's already on high, and I did it for like 6.5 hours, I think. And this roast has been thawing in the fridge for several days. So I hope it turns out okay. But like I said, we're going to go on a walk and just do some nice things while the weather is beautiful. And maybe by the time we finish with that, it will be ready for us to enjoy.
Over there, you can see the walkway over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew. Yeah, they all want to walk, don't they?
Well, they all they can walk. My all they.
Look at all the flowers.
What?
I'm trying.
You trying to pass us? You're working so hard. So after our super fun family-filled weekend, I finally got around to the actual Valentine's portion of this video. So I did end up making a few little Valentine's decor items, and I really, really love how these turned out. They're like little 3-dimensional hearts just made from construction paper and then glued to string and hung in my window. I want them in every single window around my house. And then I went to Hobby Lobby, and thankfully, because we are so close to Valentine's Day, most of the stuff was like super, super on sale, and I got a lot of decorations. There's just not a ton by way of Valentine's decor. I wish that there was more. I feel like the way that a lot of people go all out for Halloween, that's how I want to be for Valentine's. But alas, it's okay. I am starting to build up my collection this year, and like I've said, I was on such a crunch time and like just not in that mindset early enough. So I think I did okay for the time that I had to put towards it, but we're just going to keep building and building upon it moving forward. For me, I think I am much more interested in the pinks, the different shades of pinks for Valentine's decor, than I am like the bright reds. But the bright red stuff that I did get was just more of the like paper cheaper stuff, so it won't last as long probably anyways, and it still just ties in nicely for now. Okay, and then on to the gift baskets, buckets, the things. For teachers, I decided to just go with these buckets and the cutest little floral print pins. I found these at Hobby Lobby. They were like $1.99 a piece, and then I put them in there with some chocolates and some little heart flower picks. I think that they turned out super cute. I'll try to get the girls to make a little card or something to go with it, but I'm calling it a day. Also, the girls' basket, I did not get everything that I wanted. I didn't even have everything that I thought that I had. I thought that I had like some chapsticks and just some different things that were kind of girly and spa-like, but oh well, I think that they will still be thrilled, and I still have a couple of days if I come across some other things to throw in there, as well as maybe some candy that they'll enjoy. But I absolutely am living for these little mini basket banners. Hobby Lobby has been having them for every holiday. Like they have them already out for Easter, for St. Patrick's Day, for everything. I don't know what you would need a basket for on St. Patrick's Day, but this banner alone makes me want to make one. Not that you really care, but we also have these other things to kind of sit around behind the baskets, these Gabby Dollhouse mess-free coloring kits, and then a game called Flora's Lava, which I think that they'll really enjoy. We are finally getting into board games, and it's been a lot of fun to play those together as a family. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. Now I am just putting this up in the top of the closet, praying that my girls do not ask what that pink paper is sticking out until Friday. So I hope that you are having a great day wherever you're at. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.